Do you ever feel like your life is being run on autopilot, like you're just reacting instead of choosing? What if I told you the power to change your entire life begins with one thing: awareness? Welcome back, beautiful souls. I'm Katina Lee, and today we're diving into Chapter 3 of The Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. And this is where things really start to shift. So far, we've learned about the dream of the planet and how we were domesticated. We met the parasite and the ally, those inner voices pulling us towards fear or love. But this chapter takes us to the next step. How do we begin the transformation? And Ruiz says the answer is simple, but not always easy. It is awareness. Here's the thing. If you don't see the pattern, you can't change it. Ruiz explains that most of us live in what he calls the mitote. It's a Toltec word meaning chaos or a fog of 1,000 voices in the mind. The mental noise full of the old agreements, beliefs, and judgments that dictate how we see ourselves and the world. When we're lost in that fog, we live by default. We react instead of respond. We keep creating the same results and wonder why nothing is changing. Awareness is the flashlight that cuts through the fog. It's the moment you notice, wow, I'm talking to myself like I'm worthless right now. I just agreed to something that I don't even want because I was afraid to say no. I'm feeling shame, but whose rule did I actually break? Is it even mine? That pause, that moment of seeing what's really happening in real time, that's the start of transformation. Here's what I love about this chapter. Ruiz doesn't tell us to fight the parasite or force ourselves into some form of perfection. He says transformation begins with observation, not judgment. Because here's the trap. If you notice your old patterns and then beat yourself up for them, guess who wins? The parasite. So what do we do instead? We witness, we get curious, we start asking, where did this belief come from? Do I even agree with it anymore? What would be true for me now? When you ask those questions, something powerful happens. You reclaim choice. You stop living by the old script and start writing a new one. Ruiz gives a simple but profound practice. Become the observer of your own mind. He calls it creating space between you and your thoughts. Instead of fusing with every emotion and belief, you step back and you notice, that's just a thought. That's just conditioning. That's not who I am. Every time you do that, you loosen the grip of domestication. You remind yourself, I am the one who creates those agreements. I can also break them. And little by little, those old patterns lose their power. Not because you forced them out, but because you stopped feeding them with more belief. I remember when I first started really practicing awareness, and I was shocked by how often my default setting was self-criticism. I'd spill coffee and immediately think, you're so clumsy or careless. It was automatic, but when I caught it, just paused and said, wow, I'm being really harsh with myself right now. Everything slowed down a bit. That awareness gave me a choice. I could keep repeating the old pattern, or I could choose a new one. And over time, those tiny choices started to change everything. So let me ask you, where do you need to bring the light of awareness into your own life? Think about that for a minute. And like always, I've created a free PDF for you. It has a detailed chapter summary and has some reflection questions and journal prompts. All you have to do is go to katinalee.com, click on the YouTube book club link. There's no email required, no sign up. Just click on that link, click the download, and it'll help you integrate this and maybe go deeper into your journey. Next week, we're moving into Chapter 4. the masks we wear. And oh my goodness, that chapter is a game changer because the masks, we all have them and some are very heavy. So make sure you're subscribed. You don't want to miss this one. Remember this, awareness is the beginning of freedom. Every time you pause and notice without judgment, you take your power back. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to wake up. And I will see you next Sunday.